Hey everyone, this is the Gamer Chat Podcast. I'm Tim,
I'm Josh.
and today we're going to be talking about the industrious industry of VR. And yes, I know I said industrious industry, sue me, whatever. Let's get into it. So recently, me and Josh went to an amazing place called the VR Zone in Ferndale, Michigan, right by 9 Mile and Woodward. And we got to experience VR gaming firsthand in all of its glory in multiple forms, because it's not just where you put a headset and then you do stuff. There's multiple forms of it, and we're going to be getting into all that today. Josh?
Well, that was my first experience with VR. I've never had a VR headset on. I've had an AR headset on with augmented reality, which we can probably go into in another episode, which, by the way, augmented reality, absolutely dope. But that we're ways away from making that more plausible. But as for VR, that experience for me was amazing. I've never experienced something so real yet so fake in my entire life. I know that sounds weird, and I know that sounds like a throw at VR, but no, it was amazing. I loved it. I love the idea of being in a world that's fictional, but I know it's fictional, even though I'm tricking myself with my sense of sight.
Yeah, because when we were playing, the game we were playing was an apocalyptic shooter where we were on a ledge. Like, we were fucking high up as shit, and like, so when we first got into the game, like the game mode and everything, we just see the whole world like that. Dude, my first thought was like, oh my god, I'm terrified, because I have a slight fear of heights, and when I saw that, I was like, I'm freaking out. But it was weird, because like I felt I was getting scared, but at the same time I was like, this is like, what, like, what's going on? Like, because I knew I was standing on solid ground, but what my head was seeing, it was like, I was basically, like, my body and my mind were at war with one another, because my mind was telling me, well, because from what I was seeing, it was going like, dude, we're so high up, this is weird. But my body was going like, no, chill the fuck out, we're fine.
Yeah, I had the same experience because we had to stay stationary in a certain spot.
Yeah.
And neither one of us did by accident.
I kept backing up all the way to, like, this, to what I called the safe spot.
They're like, okay, so when you look down, you'll be on the ledge or you'll be off the ledge. There's no in between. And I was like, what do you mean? So I look down, and I am about 3 feet away from where I'm supposed to be, like 3 feet ahead of it. So I'm literally floating. There's no platform like right behind me. I am floating, and I was like, whoa, that's weird. Take a step back. Like,
see, the whole, like, I wanted to do that, but I had this, like, increasingly terrifying thought, like, if I do that, will I just, like, fall and experience of death, of me falling off the ledge?
Yeah, unfortunately they didn't program any fall animation inside the game.
I'm so glad they didn't.
I wish they would have.
No!
That would have been so cool.
No!
That would have been so cool.
No. But that would have given me, I would have died there. I would have had a heart attack, stroke, whatever. I would have just...
Yeah,
I would have pissed my pants.
I would have freaked out. I would have I would have fell down. I'd been like, oh my god, I'm falling. But no, the experience of the game itself though was absolutely amazing. I mean,
the
characters were unique. Also, I've never seen the characters built like that. The way that they portrayed them.
Your character was Dante from DMC.
No, not our character model, but like the enemy characters.
Oh, I'm just talking about our character models are from other games, but who cares? But the enemy models. They were like they were terrifying when they got up close. Like,
yeah, like I know it goes without saying, but it was right in your face.
Yeah, like, dude, like those face bugs or whatever. Dude, the minute they got close to me, I was like, oh my god, this is terrifying. Because
basically, what the game was, there was a bunch of like different either like grotesque monsters or like a robot type thing that was crawling up the side of the building that you were standing on.
That was a monster too.
Oh, I thought it was a robot.
No, that was like a supposed mutated human. But like the thing with that, like when those things were crawling up and like attacking us, like I was getting a little jumpy. Like every time they'd swing, I'd like jerk my feet away and like shoot at them. It's like because I just felt like I don't want to actually get hit. I'm doing like this little stab.
Yeah, and when there was a bigger one, one of the giant ones that we had to take like a minute to kill, like there was a bunch of smaller ones that came out and spawned from it.
Dude, yeah.
It was creepy because they were it felt like they were touching my leg, even though I know they weren't, because they were just eating at your legs.
Dude, honestly,
it was a creepy experience, but it was so cool.
It was like the VR gaming is definitely going to be a major future headliner in all forms of gaming in the gaming industry. Hell, there might even be possibly some VR championships coming up. Not coming up because I'm not going to say anything, but there could be VR esports. That would be something I would definitely look
I would
into.
be in for that. Like,
I'd pick
and
a
the
team for that shit.
and the fact of VR esports being a thing, that would be a great way for people to view gamers as not just people sitting at home, people who are actually standing up, having to do physical activities. So VR is promoting, kind of like Pokemon Go did, activity. They're promoting ways for you to get active. And if they eventually come out, I know they have. There's a stand that you can buy. It's extremely
Yeah.
expensive. It's like $1,000. But if you can hook up like leg sensors, and it will
Yeah, no.
actually coordinate your running
Yeah.
and like when you're crouched, when you're standing, like it's crazy how that even works.
I did like how, like, I noticed if we crouched, like, we were just wearing a headset, but if we crouched, our characters crouched in the game too.
Yeah, they crouch because they worked on like the head height, and that was
Yeah.
so cool that the characters, and if you leaned forward, your body would not move with you. It was you actually leaning forward, and that was really cool. And I thought that like, I don't know this because the headset that we were using, this is more of a newer-ish technology with VR. Is that they have internal sensors rather than external sensors. So everything that you need in the headset for the headset to play the games is inside the headset. You don't need any external sensors to hook up in your room. All you need is the PC and the headset. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's insane that they've gotten that far already, to where all you need is just the headset and the computer, and you can run games pretty easily. I mean, obviously you'll need a bigger space and everything, so you got to be careful. But other than that, we're already on our way to just have, because we already have a VR headset that's just a VR headset. It already has games inside of it. I think that's the Oculus Quest.
I was gonna say just Oculus. I
Because
know
Oculus has like 30 different
yeah,
headsets.
yeah, so like I don't know which one we're talking
It's
about.
the Quest has the, I think I'm pretty sure that's the standalone.
Yeah.
The Oculus, well, the Rift obviously was the first one that they came out with.
Oculus Rift. That was like the one I was thinking about.
But there's another one, the more recent one. I can't think of the name right now, but they came out with it not too long ago. So did HTC, and it's crazy how and Valve's in this too.
Oh yeah, right.
So they have a bunch of different companies working towards VR, and I know that a YouTube channel that I used to watch a lot, they're called Node. They're making their own VR game. They're making their own VR game right now, and they've produced it. They developed it themselves, and it's basically a finished product at this point. And I'm excited to play it. I want to get a VR headset just for that game. It looks.
What's the game about?
I didn't really watch too many videos on it. I watched one, but like you're this guy and you're trying to fight these people who have been like turned synthetic, and it's some more mega corporation type thing.
Ah.
When I get more information on it, I will definitely talk more about it. But in the meantime, like go check out the video Node Node. Crazy. I think they put out like 7 or 8 videos for their VR game. It's insane. It's absolutely insane, and they have a slow motion button for it now too.
Dude, slow motion. That'd be cool in VR, being able to do slow mo shit. But you know, thinking about VR, you know, there's a lot of other forms of VR that like aren't just for gaming. Cause I remember watching this little like trailer or something on I think it was on YouTube or CNN or something. And yes, I watched CNN.
And that's a huge difference between YouTube and CNN.
Yeah, whatever. Kiss my ass.
Not really. Don't want to.
Well,
go ahead. Finish up.
whatever, Josh. Anyway, as I was saying, I was seeing this cute little video about how the medical field is incorporated VR to help kind of get kids over their fear of shots. Like there's this little game where like, you know, you're supposed like they'll say like, oh hey, welcome adventurer, here we need your help to keep the barrier up to keep the evil ones out or whatever. And it's like, here, place your arm on this pedestal so we can like check you and make sure you're going to be strong enough to do it. And what they're doing is like the brain is basically like tricking the sensation, like you know how they'll put the cold swab on. They'll like the person will say, now you'll just feel a little cold, like put the cold stone on, feel a little cold, and then finally when they give the shot, they'll say, and now the heat stone we're going to give you, you'll feel a slight little like burn tingle, but you're going to be okay. And they give them the shot, and they don't feel it. They don't feel the pain. They don't like because their mind is basically being tricked into like, oh, hey, it's like the game. like how we were being tricked, like we were seeing
Oh yeah, like,
we were seeing that. It's like I feel like VR kind of helps change, like even if your body knows what's going on, like your mind changes the the sensation you're feeling.
yeah.
So I feel like using that in the medical field, that was actually pretty cool. And and also VR is also being used to train pilots. And what else?
It's already being used in other medical fields, such as actual surgery. Some doctors are implementing VR so you can do surgeries prior to actually doing a surgery.
To get like
the way
more in-depth practice.
yeah, the way they used to do it was when you were training to do a surgery, you would have a step-by-step program with the head doctor or whatever, and you would go through it with them. They would walk you through the process of doing it, and eventually you would get to the point where you could do it on your own and be independent. But with VR, you're slowly but surely getting more and more independent just by doing that, just by practicing on your own. Obviously, you probably want to do it with a real person and then have someone tell you what to do just to make sure. But the fact that you would be able to do that just as well, if not better,
Yeah.
from being able to make a mistake. The problem is with doing it in a real person, obviously you can't make a mistake. But if you have VR, you can make a mistake, you can lose, you can fail, you can learn from it. But if you're doing this all in person, on a person,
It's one shot only.
it's
Only
it's a
one-
stressful situation, and the VR headset takes away the stress from that. It's not a high stress situation that you need to really worry about so much. Obviously, you'll be put in that situation eventually, but easing them onto the stress is much, much better than just jumping them directly on to the real life patient who could die from doing the surgery for whatever reason. So, as for what you said, Tim, training pilots, I have a friend who goes to Western, and she's becoming a pilot. I don't know if she's done any VR training yet. She's only been there for 2 years now, but she has flown a real plane already. She knows how to fly. But aviation pilots, if you're going to the Air Force, I'm pretty sure that you can take a VR training course.
Yeah, possible. I mean, I feel like VR, like, because basically what it is, it's like it's like a live action simulation of what you're wanting to do without the fear of failing.
Yeah, and I know the
Because I mean, you can still fail, but like without the life or death consequences. If you
Yeah.
fail, you just start over until you finally get it. With piloting, if you fail, you fucked up. You crash, you burn, you die.
yeah.
That sucks. With the surgery, you fucked up, and then that person's dead, and then
I-
you're sued.
I know that the a game that came out sometime last year or earlier this year, Ace Combat 7, had a flight stick and a VR headset you can get. It's VR compatible, and I thought that was an amazing concept. I never got Ace Combat 7. I
I
worked
heard
at.
there's some pretty bad reviews about the game.
I mean, the game probably isn't that great because it's just the way that people want it to be made, and it was been like 5 years since the last one came out, so
True.
they expected something great. But the idea of having the immersion of using an actual flight stick, because you were able to buy a flight stick. I worked at GameStop at that time when it came out, and I've sold probably close to 50 flight sticks to people and 50 headsets, and people really were excited for this. I sold probably 100 copies of the game, so people really, really wanted to try this immersion factor of the flight stick and the VR headset, and that was an insane thought for me because I thought VR was dying. Back then I really thought VR was dying, and I thought it was a dead concept. But with the resurgence of the cordless headset, it's an amazing concept that's now way more accessible and way more appealing to anyone who wants to try it. You don't have to worry about being tangled up in cords. Now you can just have the headset on, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, I think that making it more accessible is another topic that we really need to talk about, is getting people who want to try it. Now, I don't know how often people go to VR places, and VR Zone, which, by the way, I looked at their prices, and they were relatively cheap for what I thought it would be. It was like $15 for like one game for one person. That's not bad at all. I thought it would be a lot more, like
Yeah.
$40 or $50 per person. But it's pretty cheap. It's extremely accessible, and I didn't realize how accessible VR stuff actually is.
Honestly, I'm definitely gonna say this. If you want to try VR, go check out VR Zone in Ferndale. We're gonna give them a huge shout out. And honestly, we spoke to a few people there. We spoke to one of the managers, one of the owners. that place is awesome, and they gave us a lot of great info. And honestly, VR Zone definitely worth checking out, people. So head over there sometime soon.
Uh, as for talking to the managers and the owners, we asked them a couple questions as well for what their thoughts on VR were. One of them we asked was, "What is the future of VR?"
And one of them, I remember one of them saying that with anything, the future of VR will definitely be a more immersive environment where you can become, where there's less limitations, and there's less limitations, and you can be more in the game. You can do more instead of just you stand. Because some VR you just stand around, you do this or that.
Yeah.
Where you can explore the game, where you become the controller, you can explore the game like they were talking about, like with Skyrim, you can go first person view and explore. They were saying like it could be something like that where you can explore, you can like just do basically anything. And then I know one of them also said like the future for VR, instead of just like sight, you could it would also there'd be more sensation, like you could touch, you could feel, hear.
So, as for the senses, like we can already see, and hearing is kind of already there. I mean, like we already have kind of surround sound, but it's not completely immersive. But there are in development or actually released now. I can't remember if they said that it was released, but definitely in development. Gloves that allow you to sense pressure on your hands, like as if you're picking something up. So, let's say you were picking up a sword in like a hack and slash game.
Yeah.
You would feel the pressure of holding the sword in your hand and how that would feel. It's a crazy concept, but it works. Because like Ready Player One, you had a full body suit. Let's go with Hollywood fiction really quick.
Yeah.
You had a full body suit that you can sense pressure, and the idea of having your body sense pressure would be amazing. That could be used for military simulations, like if soldiers wanted to practice being in combat situations, and you could feel as if you got hit by a bullet. That would make you way more cautious and just give you more intelligence. That would feel something that you could just do on your own without the risk of actual death. So people would be more ready for situations such as combat, or in other cases like medical fields and the like getting over fears. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, like
Getting over fears, the sense of
helping with like therapeutic.
yeah,
Therapeutic,
it would
basically.
be a therapeutic situation where I think the biggest problem, the biggest hurdle that VR has to come over now is the sense of touch. Because we already have the sense of sight and the sense of hearing. Smell and taste will never come to VR, sadly.
Unless sometime down the future where they make a machine where you're strapped into a tub and all that stuff,
Yeah.
like
But-
Matrix type shit.
But the odds of that happening are slim to none because, let's be honest, what are the chances of that actually happening in our lifetime?
True.
But the sense of touch is something that we can easily acquire. And we also asked them what if you guys have watched any anime like Sword Art Online, where you are full body immersion, like literally completely into the game, where your real life body is doing nothing,
Yeah.
and there's like neurotechnology. They said that probably wouldn't happen. Unfortunately, I hate to break it to all the SAO fans, and I love Sword Art Online, but it won't happen. It's
sucks, yeah.
neurotechnology that they don't want to implement into VR headsets. Maybe one day, maybe someday in the distant future, but in our lifetime it probably won't happen. We probably won't have any full body immersion like that. The closest thing we'll get to is using our actual body, unfortunately. But other than that, we asked them what is the differences with VR in different countries. As we both thought, we thought Japan was the leading country in this.
Yeah, but no, it's actually China, because China is basically a capital of industry. So they have everything there is like booming. So obviously the VR industry is another successful empire that's being built up there, because they have like VR arcades, like from on every street corner, from what we've heard.
Yeah, from what
And
from what they
VR
said.
Zone is actually a chain from China that is one of the first locations here in the U.S.
Yeah, so what they were telling us from about it being in China is that because of the population, and because of the density of which they need to be in like the urban centers, that VR is a huge concept for them because it allows work training, and it also allows for them to not have less interactions with people, as bad as it sounds, but allows for less interaction with people so that people can get information the quickest way possible.
Honestly, that doesn't sound too bad. It sounds like utopia. Because I'm not gonna lie, there are times I don't want to fucking talk to someone.
Well, yeah, but what I'm
and
saying,
then Google can't provide shit sometimes. So,
like if you go and there's like virtual maps and everything that they have. So if you go to someplace in an urban center and you're like, well, I don't know where the fuck I am, there's a VR headset somewhere around there that you can use to map your way around. And I thought that was such a cool concept. So the idea that China is such a huge staple for this, it blew my mind, honestly. I was not ready to hear that China.
yeah.
I mean,
I thought they were gonna say it was Japan, but no, they said China. I was like, oh wow, really? But then again, they told us how, like, you know what I mean, with Japan, they're more into other stuff. So
that's not what they said. That's what you're thinking. But
I mean,
what they said was.
Let's be honest. I'm not trying to diss the Japanese. I love the Japanese, but like, they're just some weird stuff. You know that, right?
Yeah, but Japan's awesome. I like Japan.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I can see what. I just understand why they don't have, like, VR stuff from there, because I'm thinking about, like...
Well, they have VR stuff.
There's virtual girlfriends.
There's plenty of VR stuff for that. But the problem is that they're more conservative. So
True.
they don't accept the idea of VR as openly as other countries because of the sudden shift that it will have in their communities. I mean, men already work insane amount of hours, and the marriage rate, I think, is like extremely low as of recent years. So VR is a huge concept that they could take advantage of, but they just won't.
Right.
And if they have started to take advantage of it, I don't know. I haven't paid attention to that, but the idea that most of Asia, so that they also mentioned Thailand as another leading industry partner. So it's crazy to think that most of those Asian countries, that some of them we probably wouldn't think of, like Thailand especially, being one of the leading producers of VR. That's a crazy concept. I mean, I could imagine them, not to be stereotypical, but making the VR headsets. Same thing with China, but to actually implement it into their daily life, it's kind of a mind-boggling thing for me. I wouldn't have thought about it.
Yeah, won't lie. I kind of agree with you there. I was a little taken back. Sorry about that. But, honestly, yeah, I mean, and then, you know, with VR, you gotta ask yourself, like, when it comes to VR gaming, are graphics the most important thing about it? Because that was something we asked them, like, because we noticed with the gaming, when the games we tried out, the graphics, there was a lot of heavy detail. And so I asked her, like, are graphics one of the most important parts of VR gaming? And then they told us, yeah, because with VR, there is no real point to a story when it comes to the games. The only thing that matters is the graphics. You're inside the game. You are immersed into the game. So that's the most important part.
So one thing we also asked is, what are the limitations with that? So the limitations that we found out with VR is not the graphics. It is especially the hardware to run the graphics cards. So what we were told is that VR headsets, excuse me, are already able to run games in 8K. That's what we were told. Most of the things that we are able to run in computers, like in general, is probably 8K to 16K. That's not that far out of the future. We just can't. 4K has been a thing for a few years now.
True.
So 8K is not too
Every
far out of
time
the
you
concept.
say AK, I think of AK-47. I don't know why.
8K.
Oh, they said AK.
No, 8K. Like the number 8. The sideward.
Well,
the sideways
8 and 8
infinity
sound a
sign.
lot sometimes, you know.
Yeah. So I know that people were freaking out over Minecraft being in VR, and that's one of those.
Minecraft in VR is pretty cool.
That's one of those timeless games that graphics don't matter, and it's such a simple concept that there's no story really. There's only a story that you make it. So Minecraft being in VR is mainly because of the popularity of the game and because of the ease of the limitations on the game. So you don't have to worry about games like Minecraft being accessible.
I mean, I will say, we have like Skyrim, which is VR, and Skyrim VR is actually not bad, because with Skyrim graphics, you know, that was already breathtaking as it is. But yeah, with VR, I will say, yeah, I do agree that graphics are pretty much everything. that graphics through are heavily required to make a good VR game.
Yeah, I feel like if you were to make a VR game that wasn't more reliant on graphics, it would ruin the immersion for yourself. Obviously, not all games need to be immersive, but it would be nice to have a headset on and a game that I can feel immersed in. I don't want to feel like I'm not a part of the game, because with Minecraft, you don't feel a part of the game. You don't feel like your character, yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
but it's the concept of the game that we played. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but
They told us, they didn't tell us the name. They just said
they told us the name.
I don't remember.
But
I just know it was an apocalyptic shooter where.
But the fact of the game being that graphically inclined, I felt way more into that situation than I would have ever felt playing Minecraft. So the fact that graphics are getting so good to where it's almost to the point where it's basically what we're seeing normally, it really, really takes me into a new excitement for VR. So I want to see even better graphics, even more detail in the character models. I know it's going to be hard for them to keep up with the demand of people wanting better graphics for VR, but I mean the hardware needs to come up. The hardware has to start producing better, because if they're stuck at 4K when PC gaming and now console gaming is going to be becoming 4K easy, like just commonplace. I know the Xbox One X had 4K, but now that it's becoming commonplace in all the consoles, and they claim it's 120 FPS. That'd be crazy. That is actually insane. That the fact that you could run first off, they turned a console that ran 1080p and 30 into a 4K at 120. First off, that's a huge stretch. Secondly, that'd be an amazing feat that they produced. So, I think the idea of updating the graphics for everyone would be the best thing for VR. It would definitely open up a lot of doors.
Definitely, it definitely would. But so
with VR, I know we touched on this, but what you see and what is there, is such a weird concept, because we saw. I know we touched on it with our intro, but what we saw was a ledge. What we felt was concrete. It was.
I felt like
it was
padding.
such a. It was like concrete.
I don't know. I think there was like padding on where I was standing. So
I don't know, but we felt solid ground below our feet, even though we weren't on solid ground.
Yeah.
It was our mind playing tricks on us, because like we know where we are. We know we're just in
But what we saw was different.
Yeah, so I think the idea of testing fears is a great idea. I have a fear of roller coasters. I don't like roller coasters.
Did you not try the roller coaster one?
No, I did not.
I tried the height. I did heights, but you couldn't be too bothered to try roller coaster.
No, they took me away from it.
Oh.
I wanted to try it. I really did. I was like, okay, well, I'm ready to try this one. I'm like, okay, well, let's talk. I'm like, oh, shit. Damn it. I wanted to try this. But the last time I was on a roller coaster, I went to Cedar Point. And I was only on the Gemini, and I hated it. That shit scared the fuck out of me.
I haven't been on a roller coaster since the walk, because I threw up so bad.
So, like, the sense of being able to go on a roller coaster and getting over that fear, it's mainly my stomach dropping. I don't care about the movements. My stomach dropping when I see heights is the biggest problem for me. So I know that when I see a dip, I'm like, okay, my stomach's going to drop. And lo and behold, it does, and I want to vomit, and I normally do after I get off the ride. So having that sensation in VR, hopefully I don't throw up all over myself. That'd be the worst case scenario. But
dude, doing something. I feel like VR. I'm gonna say this because I also kind of hope VR doesn't take this away, but I feel like it will, because as we're talking like all the great benefits, we're not really focusing on like the negative side of VR, where it will take away that actual in life, real life experience you get to do, because you'll have a simulated experience of it. So some people just choose the simulated experience of it because they're actually not doing it.
I think that's a good point. VR will take away a lot from reality, with virtual reality coming into it. Like we mentioned with Japan, how virtual girlfriends and everything.
Yeah.
Men there are busy. So they're taking away the sense of family and being with some actual person for a virtual person. It's taking away from reality, as well as, to a lesser extent, roller coasters. Being able to go to Cedar Point or like Six Flags, and being able to ride a roller coaster with people, it's different. It's not the same sensation as VR, but it could be to the point where it is the same sensation, where they have a moving cart where you can feel the actual drop. That would be the time when Cedar Point and Six Flags would probably have a problem with VR. It'll take away from it. It's a competition that will probably strain a lot of industries. So either we'll see a surgence in Cedar Point love, or we'll see a drop in Cedar Point, and people will stop going to it because why go to it and spend $100 some odd for a weekend when you can buy a $800 headset and do that for the rest of your life?
Right. True.
So, but I think I think one of the biggest things that we need to have is a cutoff point with VR.
Like where there's some things that VR cannot replace, cannot do, should not do.
Like replacing roller coasters and replacing real life experiences and relationships. That should definitely be a cutoff point.
Yeah, but I mean, I will say I'm gonna come in defense of what I actually said, the cons, but also now I'm gonna see like the pro side of it, because I just thought about it, like people who can't actually go ahead and do that stuff will want to experience it. So
that's fine, but
if you're gonna be someone who just wants to be a lazy piece of shit, fuck you. Don't.
But I think the fact of the real life should always be better than the virtual.
Exactly.
I don't think virtual reality should ever come to the point where it replaces real life experiences.
Like, have you guys? I don't know if anyone's seen it. Surrogate. It was a movie with Bruce Willis where basically like someone invented like robotic surrogates for like real everyday life. So now every human being was just now strapped into a bed and machine where their robotic surrogate, which couldn't get sick, couldn't do any of that, did everything for them. So they experienced life through a virtual sense. And then, in the end of the movie, Bruce Willis says, "Fuck it," gets rid of all that shit, and everyone's back to having to deal with life on their own. So it's
And that's another thing. I know this isn't really VR, but it is technological advances. Robots.
Skynet 2020. Call it.
First off, anyone who has a fear of robots taking over, it's irrational, because a machine will never, ever be smarter than a human.
You want to test that theory?
I will gladly test.
Can you compute a super intense algorithm in a matter of seconds?
That's not a matter of intelligence. If I knew the algorithm, it doesn't matter how fast I do it. It's that I know it. So if I know how a robot's created, I know how to take it apart. A robot will never, ever, ever be able to outsmart a human. Humans are cunning. They have their own thought process. Even complete AI, complete artificial intelligence that it can learn for itself, will not be able to do that.
I was saying, I'm pretty sure anything can take apart a human. All you gotta do is just grab a buzzsaw and just...
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
I know, I'm just saying. Because you said you know how to take apart a robot. I was gonna jump in. Well, robot can also learn how to take apart humans.
A human can take apart a human.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to kill humans.
But if you created it, you can destroy it. That's the situation I'm going for. If you created it, if a human created it, a human can destroy it. If a human created a puzzle, a human can solve it. There's no one thing that a human does that another human cannot do.
Can someone who born without legs do jumping jacks?
Technically, yes.
Was not expecting that answer.
Technically, it is possible, but
how? Okay, without robotic legs by themselves.
Yeah.
How could
you can push yourself off?
That's not jumping jack. That's basically like handstand push-ups. It's not the same. Not trying to just anyone who born without legs. I feel sorry for you.
That's why we're not mentioning that stuff, because there's no reason to.
I'm just saying.
If a human can make it, a human can destroy it, and a human can outsmart it. A robot will never ever be smarter than human because a robot cannot learn faster than human. Humans process information on such lightning speed levels that our brain can't even comprehend it.
Wait, what?
You know that if you know the reaction time of an average human is
Yeah.
like 200 milliseconds.
Yeah.
Our brain processes that information in less than a millisecond. So if we quickly, let's say for shooters, for example, if there's an enemy holding a corner and you quick peek that, in that millisecond that you saw that information, you give your brain time to process that information. You will make a complete picture of what you saw. It takes time because our brain doesn't process that fast, but our eyes perceive it instantly.
Shit, that actually makes a lot of sense.
So, another tip for people who are playing games: if you quick peek a corner, don't keep re-peeking it. Give your brain time to process what you saw, so you can make a decision. That's a huge hint that people don't really seem to get, and that they make a huge mistake.
Yeah, I've noticed. I was playing with someone. They were like constantly like quick peek. I'm like, dude, you're gonna get shot. And then they got head scope. They got no scope. I was like,
because if you keep on quick
can
peeking, it becomes a pattern at that point. The other person can see, oh, they're coming out every so on milliseconds. Your brain can process that information. Your reaction time is 200 milliseconds. So, if on average they come out every 200 to 300 milliseconds, you can time that in your brain on your own, and be able to shoot them prior to them coming out of the corner, and then they run into the bullet. That's why if you give yourself time to peek and think about it, and process that information, you'll most likely win that situation, that gunfight.
yeah.
Man, like we've covered a lot in just a short amount of time. I think one of our biggest things that we need to do is first off thank everyone who's excuse me listened and shared some posts and everything. We really appreciate that. I think it's time for us to start really looking at getting sponsorships. Anchor.
Yeah.
They want us to do a sponsorship with them. So we will be needing to do that sometime.
Yeah. Very soon.
But the idea of that people are listening to us and that they want to hear from us is such a crazy concept to me.
Yeah, right? Because honestly, half the time I feel, most of us feel like no one gives a shit. But to all you people who've been listening to us and helping us and liking our content, thank you. We love you.
Sorry about missing last week's episode.
We got sick.
Yeah, I was bedridden and I couldn't do anything, and Tim got sick, and our backup plan fell through.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, that happened, but that's why today we are recording multiple episodes.
Just for you guys, because we love you, and no homo.
No homo.
Well, I don't want the guys to think guys are complicated. You gotta let them know.
I think
there's no strings attached.
There's no only love. Oh, no love, just sex.
I mean, I don't want to. Okay, this has gone weird.
All right, so I think that's really really cool that we've been able to do this.
Yeah.
I really have enjoyed my time doing this. I know it sounds like it's a going away speech, but
it kind of does. So now I'm a little worried.
It's such a cool experience to have. Just to even like in the event that if this doesn't work out all the way that we want it to,
yeah,
I am just glad that we did it.
Exactly, like no regrets.
I'm happy that we put in the time for this. I'm glad that
I'm just glad that we were able to. We got together. We talked about it. We did it, and here we are. We have episodes out, and we have already a few subscribers.
We have listen. I think our first video on YouTube is up to like 70 views right now.
Dude, awesome. I mean, yeah, we're getting there. I feel like we just need to put our name out there more and more and more.
And we can't really do that. We can only do that to a certain extent without you guys. So,
to the people who share our stuff, we thank you. You are part of the GC fan base and part of the GC family.
Yeah, we can't express how appreciative we are of just a simple share. Because right now, the YouTube algorithm sucks.
Oh my god. Do we really want to start trash talking YouTube?
No, we're not going to do that, but...
Yeah, I was about to say.
something as simple as just liking the video. I know that's a very difficult thing a lot of people don't do. It doesn't seem like it's that complicated, but the idea of like taking that millisecond to like even just go ahead and like it, it's actually a lot more difficult than people realize. Because like, oh, the video's done, I'm gone. I want to move on to the next video. But taking that extra second to like the video helps out a bunch. When you like a video, it's more likely to be on people's recommended pages and people's popular lists.
Yeah.
So liking a video is incredibly important. That I've been making sure that I do to videos that I actually enjoy. If I enjoy a video, I will actually like it.
Yeah, so to all you guys listening, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to start smashing that like button. You know, the more likes, the more...
Smash that like button, brother!
Yeah. I can't do voice right now. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm lame right now.
I don't want to be that YouTuber that's like, smash that like button!
No, you don't
Destroy the like button!
You don't want to be you don't want to be one of those not creepy, but weird, annoying YouTubers like, don't forget to smash that like button, brah! Oh yeah, dude, smash the like button.
Ali A here, smash that like button! I was like, no.
Yeah.
No, we just really want people to start liking the content because we want to be able to get onto the pages where people can see us.
Yeah.
Right now, it's basically just been by word of mouth how we've been getting out.
Yeah, you know, friends, family, close
And
people.
So, if we can get to the point where people online are just randomly finding us, that'd be a huge milestone for us. So, I think this might be a short episode.
Yeah.
We don't really have much more to talk about in VR.
VR, we did cover a lot, but I will say with VR, it is a booming industry, so we might even do another episode when it comes more changes, because VR,
Yep.
It's limitless. It is a truly limitless field that is still being explored, and who knows? Who knows what's going to be the future for it? Honestly, I dream of the one day where I can just put on kind of like a full suit and just do what the fuck ever in VR.
Yeah, I think the idea of having VR and augmented reality, not just virtual reality, but augmented reality, having reality where you see things in your world that aren't there, I think that's a cool concept. I mean, the HoloLens is not common because it sucked, but it's a option that we can have. The fact that we have the option to have augmented reality is such a cool concept, and we'll go over that in another episode when augmented reality and virtual reality start becoming more of a promising industry for America. Obviously, it's already promising in other countries, and people have already talked about it in other places. But for us in America, it's not that promising right now. People don't want to do it. People would rather just spend $600 on a game console.
Exactly.
So,
but
I think that's everything that we need to cover.
Yeah.
Once again, please share it. Liking the video on YouTube when this uploads to YouTube, because this is, if you listen to this on Anchor or Spotify or wherever you're listening it to, share the link. If you're on YouTube, share the link.
Share the link. Like that. Smash that like button.
Smash the like button, brother. And don't forget to subscribe.
Seriously, subscribe to us. And don't forget, if you guys have a topic you want to hear us talk about, write it in the comments and we'll check it out, you know?
Yeah, we'll definitely take the time to do some information digging and some info mining.
Yeah. And also, you know, we probably will be doing, I feel like we should do a Q&A if you guys have questions for us. Like, we want to know about Gamer Chat.
Yeah,
we'll set it up, and you know, you guys can send us your questions. We'll do it.
I think on the YouTube channel we're gonna start being a little bit more unique on it, rather than just putting the episodes for the podcast. I think we should start. We haven't really talked about this idea. I just kind of thought about this recently. We should start talking about doing like vlogs and everything, and just going about like prior to setting up to the Gamer Chat
day-to-day shit. Our day-to-day shenanigans, and I'm sorry, I just farted.
That's cool. That's totally fine. I didn't care.
No, it's because I had some ice cream, so it's going to be bad.
Shut up. I don't want to hear about this.
Well, I just want to let you know what you're in for.
I'm in for nothing. Actually, I'm in for this for another 2 hours, so...
I think you might have more ice cream, by the way. So...
Don't have more ice cream. So, let us know if you think that some vlogs or on top of the episodes for gaming would be a good idea if you guys are interested in that. Right now, me and Tim kind of have opposite schedules. I work in the mornings, he works in the afternoons, so we only really see each other on the weekends, so that you'll only probably get
Yeah.
One vlog a week.
One day we'll be releasing a lot more weekly for you guys. So until that day comes,
I guess that's really it. I'm Josh.
I'm Tim,
And this was Gamer Chat.
Wait, we can't both, we have to redo that. So
Why,
I'm Tim.
why can't we both say it?
It sounds weird. It wasn't in unison.
Okay.
So once again, I'm Tim.
I'm Josh.
This was.
Oh shit.
I was
okay.
Here's what
I count 3.
No, I'm gonna say this was, and then you say Gamer Chat. Okay. So 3, 2, 1. I'm Tim.
I'm Josh.
This was
Gamer Chat.
fucking finally.
Jesus Christ.